So thank you all for being here tonight. It's the April Ambassador Workshop. It's your two-part workshop. We are crafting with Johdi. Johdi, if you want to wave. Johdi is based in Atlanta. She creates incredible macrame plant hangers, and I actually found her on the gram, of course, and I was like, she creates amazing art. So brought her in for this workshop, and like, this is something I've been wanting to do forever. So I'm super grateful to have her in here tonight and create some plant hangers. And then we have the Greenish Vibes team in the house. So Danicka is a aSweatLife ambassador, and we had a conversation probably about like a month ago or something, obviously talking about weed. And her company Greenish Vibes has a shop for cannabis accessories, and they do incredible like pop-up like events that are educational and also fun. So check them out. Make sure to leave all the links for everything. So we were talking a lot about, can we just talk about like Cannabis 101, how it like is could be part of the wellness, your own self-care and wellness industry, and kind of like any questions everyone has. So they're going to do a little education session for us as well. Thanks, Danicka, for providing your website there below. All right, are we ready to get crafting?
Okay, so if you didn't get any materials tonight, that's okay, because I think this is something that you could still like pick up later. But if you did, you want to go ahead and grab your little wooden hoop. And what I do is I kind of just hang it on work from. So if you can find maybe something like I don't know, something to hang it on, or somewhere that your hoop can go so that you can start hanging cord from it. And then grab your cord.
Into the rope so you can do your
So go ahead and grab your cord. And then what I do is I pretty much use my body as my ruler, because I am not patient enough to go and find one and measure, and I'm really bad about like actually measuring stuff out. So if you're like me and you just want to get to cutting, I pretty much grab the cord and measure like the length of my body. So a little bit longer than the length of my body is where you want to be holding the point at, and you want to double that. So it's double me. So I'm standing it right now, and it's at me, and it's spooling a little bit at my feet. So I'm just pulling it now from my spool to double that length. And I usually just gather it in my hands like this, to where it's about, double that length, and I cut. And you want to cut 8 of these. So you're gonna
wait, really quick. So it's like the size of you, one length down, and
but
then
you're doubling it before you cut it. Doubling it before you cut it, yeah. So if you see that, this is double my height here in my hands. And it's okay if it pulls a little bit at your feet, because I always say in macrame, like less is more, because when you're working along and you notice your cord getting shorter and shorter, what you're gonna have to do is that awkward like tying more cord to it thing, and it just looks kind of messy. So it's okay if you have like a bunch on the floor. Scraps are not waste. I always save my scraps for like cute little stuff later. So if you end up cutting off a bunch later, it's totally fine to save to make like little tassels, which are great for other projects. So you're gonna want to cut 8 of those. And I'm going to show you how to start looping them onto your hoop. So it's basically just your standard pushing it through and pulling the cord through the hoop like so. I'm going to do that again.
I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to be doing 8 of these. So.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's just this.
So maybe start with one.
Yeah. So it's going to look like this. If anyone needs to see how to loop it on again, it's just, I put it, just put the cord through the head of the loop and tighten.
So like this, right?
Perfect, yep.
Okay.
8 of those.
But 8 of these.
Yeah. And if you're following along, let me know when you're done, because I don't want to go ahead of anyone. And the other good thing is while you're doing that, we're only going to be learning like just one knot, which is the spiral one that you see here, which is really cute. And you basically, even if we don't finish all the way tonight, it's simple enough that you can like go on and like finish the project yourself afterwards, because it's just, you know, the one knot that will then become this. As you can see, it goes all the way down, and then it just becomes separate knots down here to hold your pot. So even if we end up doing like a short version of this, at least you'll know how to start this cute knot, which I call spiral, but I'm sure it has a real name, but I just call it cute, twisty.
I think that's a good description.
And I just think it's like so simple, but so cute that it's just doing this. And it looks hard if you've never tried one, but I promise, like, it's so cool because as you're doing it, the cord is actually like starting to twist on its own as it goes down. And it's just really cool to see, even know that, oh, I'm doing it right, because it's twisting on its own.
How long have you been doing this craft? Like, how long have you been making these?
I really dove into macrame last summer, so like right when like lockdown kind of started for us was when I picked it up.
It's like a COVID craft.
Pretty much, yeah. And like it was when everything started, like my shop and everything pretty much picked up all at the same time. And then I'll admit, like some of my first ones were just a hot mess. I only knew how to do one knot, and it was this one called a square knot, and I would put it on everything. And I'm like, okay, I need to try to do other things. But I went to YouTube, and I was just like, you know, kept trying and trying until some of them finally clicked. And that moment when it clicks is just, it's great. Like this one, I was intimidated to try it, but I'm so glad I picked it up. But yeah, I would say right when like lockdown really kicked off was when I was like, yeah, I need to start doing something. I'm bored.
You need to put your energy towards something, not just like Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. And the fun thing is you can totally watch TV while you're doing this when you really get that. I do that a lot. Like my TV is like right here, and I'm just like playing along. So.
Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need 8, right?
Yes. I know adding them onto the stick or loop or whatever you're working on is the most tedious part, I feel like, and the part I like the least, because I'm like, I just want to get to creating. I don't want to, you know, but to create, you got to hang them up.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more. How many do you have hanging in your, like, the room you're in? Or is that the room that has, like, that you photograph all the time?
My living room, I'll admit, I do move stuff around a lot. Sometimes bedroom windows, sometimes downstairs. And I actually have a lot of hangers that don't have plants in them yet, because I just keep making them. And I'm like, I need to go plant shopping. But in the room right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 macrame hangers. Not all of them were made by me. I'll admit, I still go out and buy some sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to make this. I just want to enjoy it.
Yeah. That makes sense. And you have like a cute like Etsy shop too, right? Where you sell your creation.
I do have an Etsy shop, yes, where I sell some of these that I make. I'm even thinking like the one that I made for the class, I'm definitely probably gonna add it.
Yeah, because it's so cute. I love the pot you have on there too.
Thank you. But Honey Rose Decor, if anyone wants to go take a peek, is my shop on Etsy. I'll write it in here.
Oh shoot, does it matter if one knot is the wrong way, like facing the wrong way?
No, it's totally fine.
Okay. You're probably really fast at this. How is everyone else doing out there? I am like, I'm almost have them all on. And it's okay if they're kind of different lengths. Oh, mine are kind of, okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Because since this hanger is like on the smaller side, you probably won't even be using the majority of the ones at the end. I just prefer for you to have extra cord, so you're not like, oh, I ran out and you have to tie a new cord onto it, you know. That's annoying.
Totally. Okay, I'm almost there.
No worries.
I have 3 more.
But basically, when you have all 8 on there and you start to knotting, they'll separate out into 4. I guess I'll call these handles because you know your pot's eventually going to hang off of this. So when we start knotting, you're going to be like divided into 4. So let me know when you're ready to start knotting.
Okay, I'm almost there.
And everyone else, oh, you're taking notes? Okay. I'll make sure I'm clear in my instructions then.
Okay, one more and then I'll be good.
Okay. No worries. I promise that's like the most tedious part. Like,
Okay.
there's no more adding cord after this. No more, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I got it like all
Yes,
like that.
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So now is the part where we actually start spiraling. Okay, so you see I started some here, but I'm gonna, demonstrate here how to kick it off. I'm just gonna get these other ones out the way. Okay. So you wanna hold your 4 cords like this, where they're all flat in front of you. And yeah, you're gonna grab 4. Sorry, I should emphasize that. You're gonna grab 4 of your, no, apologies. You're gonna grab, yeah, 2 of them next to each other, making 4
Yeah.
cords, not 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of make the number 4 with your cord like this. So basically you grab the 2 middle ones, the 2 ones that are kind of hanging in the middle, and you're gonna make the number 4. So basically it's kind of like the one in your right hand, you're gonna, so that there's 2 in the middle, there's 1 in your right hand, and you're basically gonna make the number 4 by carrying the one in your right hand behind the 2 in the middle to the point where it looks like this. So the one that's in my left hand that's not being used, it's over here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 2 in the middle, and I'm making kind of like a nose, like pointing this way.
Okay.
And so the one in this hand that's not doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
he is going to go behind. So your 4 is going like this, and it's going behind the 2 in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the end is going behind the nose. So I'm going to turn it around so you see it from my perspective. If you can see. So here's the nose I just made. Here's the number 4 that I took behind the 2 cords.
Mm-hmm.
And now the one on the end is going on top of the 4 I just made.
Oh, it's on the top. Okay.
Yes.
Hold on,
So it looks
my
like-
thing
looks
keeps
like
falling. So it goes on top. I got it.
So
Okay.
now the cord that you're making, the awkward
Wait,
number.
hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, that was by accident.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
realize I was muted.
No worries. So now you're gonna take the tail of your number 4 and kind of take it. So if my nose is pointing this way, you're gonna take it through the tip of your nose. So here's the tip of my nose, and you're gonna take it through it and pull. So that was the tail of your 4, and don't worry, I'll do this again. And you're gonna pull it taut. And this is how it's supposed to look when you pull it tight. Like, here's the front. So I'll do that. I'll do it again. I'll do it as much times as you want. Grab your number 4. So we can start back from this position again if you think you messed that one up. You're making your number 4. It's going
Okay.
behind the 2 in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and your nose is pointing to the right.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the end that's not doing anything, it goes, so it's going towards you. When I say on top, it's going towards you. Like, so it's sitting on top of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then here it is going through the nose pointing to the right. It's going through it, and you pull it through and tighten like a shoelace. Boom. So they should just be sitting on top of each other like this if you did the first one, right? And you even start to notice it's already kind of trying to spiral. It's already doing like a weird twist thing. So I'll do a third one. My number 4,
I think it's working.
in the middle. The one right here goes in front, so it's coming towards you, and it's sitting on top of the 4. And then it goes underneath. And the reason I keep emphasizing like through the nose is because I don't want you putting it in this one. It has to go towards the nose that you just created by creating the number 4. That's why I keep emphasizing that. It's going through this loop. If you go through this loop, that doesn't do anything. It'll just fall apart. So you gotta go through the nose, pull like a shoelace, and tighten. Are you seeing any twisting starting, maybe?
Yeah, I'm seeing twisting.
Yay! Awesome.
Hopefully it's the right twisting. Yeah, no, I think this is right.
You'll know,
Maybe I
because
can.
it'll start spiraling. You'll know.
Okay, yeah.
So to start going in the realm of the hanger, you want to keep going with that, which is the length of your hand. So you want to go about the length of your hand down. So I started it a little bit earlier today, and I'm going to put a couple more onto here and make it the length of my and make it the length of my hand. So number 4, one on the end, goes underneath and through the nose and tighten. I mean, you want to make it nice and tight too, because then you'll have nice, tight, cute little spirals, and they'll all be the same size going down, and they won't be like weird bunches going on. So you want to pull it nice and tight. There's the nose.
Okay, it was spiraling nice, and now it's like nodding.
Oh no.
Wait, okay.
Maybe you were pulling it through like.
Oh, I think
I'll
I
slow it down.
that.
So 2 on the end, the one in my right hand becomes the nose, and it goes behind. The 2 in the middle, it looks like this. The one in my left.
Maybe that's what I was doing wrong. It goes behind the 2 in the middle.
Was behind, yeah.
I was doing it in front.
Gotcha. So the one in my right hand goes behind the 2 in the middle. The one in my left hand goes behind the nose, like the chair, I guess, of the nose, and then through the nose and pull.
Got it.
So right hand, make the nose, goes behind the 2 in the middle. This one is going towards you, pulling it to the front, like so, through the nose. Because maybe this part gets a little muddy too. So when like it's sitting on top of the chair of the 4, you want to pull it out, so away from you, and then through the nose. So here it goes like this, away from me, and then back through the nose. How's everybody doing, if anyone's following along?
Okay, so I think that
I can
started off good.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of naughty.
Got kind of naughty there.
Yeah, I feel like up here was right, and then something happened. Should I undo it? Or I could keep going.
Maybe it's probably the concept of like which way you're pulling the.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see if I can change the way I'm explaining it. So like cord in your right hand, cord in your left hand. The cord in your right hand starts to form the nose, and the nose goes behind the 2 in the middle, right? To the point where I have to start grabbing it with my left hand. The one in my left hand comes towards my body so that it's basically on top of this. So here's the one I just, and the one in my left hand comes toward my body and is now sitting on top of the 4, now sitting on top of it towards me. And then it goes away from me and then into the nose, almost like I'm about to be really gross, almost like you're putting a booger back in. So it goes away from you and then into the nose.
Okay, I think that's the part I was missing.
Okay.
Johdi, do you think that it's easier or probably more conducive to do this like as you have it hanging? I wouldn't have thought to do it that way. So is that the best way to assemble these things?
Where it's hanging in front of you? Yeah, I would say so. This is why I literally have a closet like coat hanger rack thing here. sitting in my living room that I hang my hooks on and my, you know, my dowels on. Because I've tried to do it from the floor, but you have to be, it helps if you're like against the wall or, you know, something where you can hang it from.
Okay, noted.
If you find that you're struggling because you're sitting down, sorry, I didn't make it clear that you might have to stand to do it. Apologies.
No worries.
But as long as you can, if you can crack out 2 of them sitting down, like whether you're sitting down or standing up, like it'll, you know, but not, it'll still start to spiral. I think it's just easier standing. Is anyone else having crazy knots? Or how are you doing, Kelly? Is it still being weird? I'm happy to.
I think, okay, wait, can we do it one more time? And I think I got it.
Of course. So right hand, 2 middle cords, left hand.
Oh, left hand.
Left hand's right here. Not doing anything yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Doing anything. Making the nose. And by making the nose, the one in my right hand is coming towards me. Coming towards me and going behind the 2 in the middle. My left hand grabs the one that I just took behind the 2. And I'm going back over here to reinforce the nose. The one in my left hand that hasn't done anything yet is coming towards me. It's coming towards me. And it's now sitting on top of the one that I just pulled over with my right hand. Sitting on top of it. So it's so when you're looking at it, it's coming towards you, right? And now you want to go underneath the chair. So here I am over the top. You want to go underneath and push it through the chair. So this might be the part where it's getting funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're basically going diagonally. So you're not doing this, and you're not going in this one here. You're not going in this one. You're going in the nose. You're always going into the one facing right. From here to here.
Okay.
And then pulling. And when you pull, it should look like this. And then you're just tightening up. You're just tightening, smoothing it out, tightening, smoothing it out. I'll go again. Right hand, middle, left hand. Here's the nose. It's always pointing to the right. The one in my left hand, I grab both of them together. The one in my left hand comes towards me. It's now sitting on top of the one towards me. I haven't moved anything yet. Then it goes away from me and it heads diagonal. Everything wants to go back into the nose. So it goes back into the nose. Push it in towards you. Pull it like a shoelace. And tighten.
Got it. Okay, that made sense.
That made sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So once you just know the direction you're pulling and where cords are laying, it starts to become like butter. Okay. Start out with your little hanger. Maybe a hanger analogy is easier. And then under, and then through the nose. So you're going diagonal. And pull. Nice and tight. And then I think I started like up here and it's already starting to twist, like just naturally, it will just naturally fall into that twist on its own. Like I haven't had to move at all. I haven't been like going in a circle or anything. It just like makes it itself. Yeah. How's yours going?
It's now that I think I got it, and I'm just undoing a couple of my bad ones.
No problem.
Because now it's like, I'm like, okay, now it's clicking, but I need to fix this.
No worries. What about anybody else? I would be happy to make sure y'all really understand how to do the spiral before like maybe have to like wrap up or something. But because once you start doing these, the world is your oyster. You can do anything. So if you're taking down notes, please let me know if I could be more clear or whatever.
No, I think that was really helpful. Just going through it a bunch of times.
Good.
So as far as steps, like clearly, so it's like you do the same thing on all.
Yep.
So then you'll end up with 4 total.
And you end up with 4 separate ones. Yeah. So you're just basically grabbing the next 2 cords and then the next 2 cords. But basically when you're working, you should always have like 4 of them in your hand like this, where you're like, here's my right, here's my left, here's my middles. And then I made them the length of my hand. And then
so you braid like the top, like you'll make like maybe you said the length of your hand-ish.
yes. So length of my hand on each of them. Length of my hand on each of them. And then when they were all equal in length, I basically connected them. You don't have to at all. You don't have to at all. You can basically just be like, okay, I have my 4 separate ones. I'm ready to try to make the, you know, the basket that my pot sits in.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll do. So let's just pretend they're all there, you know, hanging down, ready to go. And then, so basically, the trick to making the bucket part where that your plant sits in is that you want to start making these cords go in a circle. So basically, I'm grabbing 2 from this guy, just one of the random ones here, maybe the one on the far end, and the one on this far end, you grab 2 from it. And the same knot I just taught you, you just make one of them, right? So I took one from the far end out here, one from the far end out here, and then I'm bringing them together in front of me. And the same knot I just taught you, you just make, and by one of them, I mean you make 2 of them. Sorry, because they have to, you know, they have to, it has to be like a knot. So basically just, here it is. I connected the 2 on the end that I just held up. So that the spiral I just taught you, do it twice to make a cute little knot. You just need 1 knot.
Okay.
And you're basically connecting all of your ropes like that. So now you're grabbing another 2, and the ones that are next to each other. So now I'm grabbing another 2, right? So, you know, the 2 that you just connected, you leave those alone and you move on to the 2 next to it. So here I go with these 2, they're friends, they're next to each other, and I'm doing that knot. And you want to make it equal in height to the other one because you want them like, you know, next to each other. That's how you get this effect going on here, where it's you know, they're like next to each other on the pot. It's the other way. In equal height. These are the ones I'm making right now. So, next to each other like so. Grab another 2 that are next to each other and make a knot. This is the part where you really kind of have to be like standing up and have it hanging down, because making knots on, you know, making them equal height on like your lap or a table can become really tricky. So that's something to emphasize, is a lot of the times when you're macrameing, you're standing up. You're standing up against the wall, or, you know, but I do recommend, if you want to get into macrame, to get one of these closets, space saver things. It's been great. I hang my dowels on it. I hang, you know, you can put your hooks on it for planters. They're like amazing. You don't have to, you know, you can put it down and pack it back up if you were done macrame.
Well, and it's nice too, because it's like we're usually sitting all day, so it's not like a good activity to do standing up.
Right, you can work those glutes out. So basically when you're done, it should look like all of your cords, like they're kind of been tied to each other, like all the ones that were next to each other. So these 2 were next to each other, they're together. These 2 were next to each other and they're together, and so on. And that's the start of your section that starts to cup your pot. And basically you move down, maybe like, and the length that you move down is totally up to you, because that is when you're like, what size pot am I dealing with? So if you're dealing with a bigger pot, you're going to want to move down a lot farther, maybe like 2 palm lengths. But if you're dealing with a smaller pot, like in our case, I just use 1 palm length. So the ones I just made, I made my palm length, and that's where I started connecting the ropes again. So basically that means the ones I just connected, you know, they're joined, and I'm doing the same thing now where, so like these two, I'll point down, this is awkward. These two, I'm now connecting off where I just made knots. So here's a knot I just made, here's a knot I just made. Now these two are gonna become joined. So it looks like it starts doing this. And you're doing that to all of them on the same height. Does that make sense? Or did I lose?
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So it's like,
And you're doing the same knot
doing the
there
same
too.
knot, yeah, and it just looks like this because I did it twice. So the little triangle thing I taught you, I just did that twice to make the little knots. So here's these two here that I just made. The ones hanging off of it become their own joined knots. So like 1 hand length down, and you just do that in equal height around. And basically just 2 rows of those is all you need. So like this is the first one here, second row here, and then basically, so I'm just gonna make one of those. I don't want to be running out of time. I mean, eating up Danicka's time. So you go around and around, just, you know, so I'll have 2 rows of those. And basically that's what becomes the 2 rows that you see here. Okay, let me fix the pot. So here's where I just joined the top ones, and then you can see here where they came together. And then this is just your standard take a cord, wrap it around all the other cords and tuck it situation, like with, like, you know, tying a tie basically, or wrapping up, you know, it's a good example. Like basically just, you know, when you're done, basically, I pretty much take my fist and like put it in here to be like, okay, my pot's about this size and everything. And then I take 1 cord and wrap it around and around and just tuck it so it's nice and wrapped and looks like this on the bottom. This is just 1 cord wrapping around all of the cords, and it got tucked. And then I trimmed it the end.
Okay.
I know I rushed through like the last super sorry, but like I was saying, once you master the spiral, you're basically just putting 2 cords together and then putting another 2 cords together and making your tail at the end, and then boom, it'll be sitting in it in no time. This was the hardest part, not these parts here.
That part. And then by the time you're like done with that top part, it's like you should be good at that knot, and it's just like, then it's just the same knot
basically
lower down.
the same knot going down. All I did differently with this one was I joined them here just by just these same knots here. I just put them together, like I just tied them all, like connected them almost together, and then did the same cords going down again, and then alternated. But I feel like I rushed everybody. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, I think that was a great demo, and like we only had so much time together too. So I think this is like, we'll also send out this recording, so if anyone got a little lost, like they'll be able to like see you in slow motion and work through it. But I think just knowing that knot and then the rest of it, I think you explained really well.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw Kara had a question. I would love to answer it real quick. So she said, do we have to alternate sides? Kara, were you talking about these ones here or these ones up here?
Sorry, I was talking about the spiral, but I figured it out.
Okay. So yours is spiraling now?
Yeah, we're moving.
Yes. And Winnie, can I braid my hair this way? I've never tried it. I mean, do you, boo? You can try it if you want. I just don't know. I feel like your hair would not if you did it. It's the French braids or something, but I wouldn't put one of these because you don't want your hair. You don't want to do this because you'll be combing.
It might be hard to get undone. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, Kara, that yours is spiraling and Kelly, yours is spiraling. Like, isn't it the prettiest thing?
It's so pretty. It's so like satisfying when it
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Okay, no, thank you so much. That was so great. And would love to do more with you. So we'll send out your information, everyone, and please check out her creations because they're so pretty, and we'll all want to be like you, be able to create these amazing creations. So thank you.
No, thank you.
And that like flew by so fast. So let's
I
get
know.
So I'm gonna highlight, is Danicka in the house? Where you at? Is Greenish Vibes ready to go?
Hi, everyone. Well, I hope that your creations came out great. I was spying. I am generally not that crafty, but I always want to try. I like to try. And I can imagine it being satisfying once it actually works. So great job. So my name is Danicka. I am a founding partner at Greenish Vibes. At Greenish Vibes, we curate high quality smoking accessories and CBD products. During COVID and kind of in response to our to the lack of or inability to advertise generally, we started creating these lifestyle and educational programming. So we've done smoking paints, we've done infused pizza parties. Every first Sunday we do cannabis plus yoga. In April, we were in Palm Springs, Chicago, and LA, in San Diego for various events. We had Bud and Brunch. We did a collaborative networking session in Chicago where we invited elected officials and industry folks and small business owners just to figure out how we can get into the industry. So we're always out educating. We have a Sex Plus Cannabis collaboration with a local sex shop here in San Diego. So these are just some of the things that we do on our team. Our brand strategist, Olamiji Pierce, is on the call. We want you guys to be interactive, engage with us, and we're going to have a little fun. The people that are most active or at random, we're going to pull some people to get goodie bags, some package. We'll get your information and send you over a care package. So thank you for being here at aSweatLife. Thank you for having us. And without further ado, we will go through the agenda and get started. So we are going to do a quick, probably 5 minute, we'll cut it in half. It's a little lengthy, but I think it's a really great intro to cannabis. It's going to answer a lot of those burning questions that you have, giving you some great fundamentals. We'll do a quick recap with some questions we came up with. We will give you some actionable items on how to introduce cannabis into your wellness routine. We'll shout out some of our vendors. I'll take any questions that you have, and then we'll say goodnight. This video is really great, like I said, because it takes cannabis at a basic level. Canada, it's really forward thinking about cannabis. And so this video was presented by the neurology team in Toronto.
Hi, I'm Dr. Evan Lewis, pediatric and adult neurologist and cannabis medicine specialist at the Neurology Center of Toronto. Welcome to Cannabis 101. In this video, I'll walk you through a general introduction to cannabis and describe how it works in our body. Cannabis is the name of a well-known plant classified by Carl Linnaeus in 1753 and named Cannabis sativa, sativa meaning cultivated. Cannabis actually originated 27 million years ago along the Tibetan Plateau. There are many references to cannabis in human history and language, and the oldest evidence of human use was found at this gravesite in Central Asia, dating as far back as 2,700 years ago. Due to different environmental conditions, cannabis evolved throughout the world in various sizes and shape, appearances of its leaves, and chemical composition. Warmer climates tended to produce tall plants with narrow leaves that contained high amounts of THC, the molecule in cannabis that produces the euphoric high. In colder climates, the plant adapted by growing into smaller sizes with broader leaves and low amounts of THC. These different appearances classify cannabis into 3 species: sativa, indica, and ruderalis. Over the last few decades, due to the prohibition on cannabis, there was a need to create plants with high THC that could grow fast, indoors, and in cold climates. This led to interbreeding between the different species and the creation of hybrid plants containing a mixture of sativa and indica characteristics. The hundreds of different hybrids of cannabis are commonly referred to as strains, but the proper term is chemical variety or chemovar. Today, the cannabis industry likes to use the traditional features of sativas and indicas as marketing tools to sell their products. For example, sativas are marketed as having an uplifting and energizing effect, and indicas a relaxing and sedating effect. In reality, the specific effects have been lost through generations of interbreeding, although you will see this on packaging and websites. It is important to know all this because there is no consistent way of knowing the sativa and indica content of a given product, and purchasing cannabis for these reasons just doesn't make much sense. For now, the simplest way to predict the effect of the cannabis you're purchasing is to look at the THC and CBD content. You can think of it in this way. Type 1 has high THC, Type 2 has a balance of THC and CBD, and Type 3 is mainly high CBD. Many of you will have heard of the term CBD and THC. These are the most abundant medically active compounds found in cannabis, and we will see how they fit into this picture after we learn about the endocannabinoid system. Our bodies have a special system known as the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. This is a system of molecules and receptors that interact with each other, like keys fitting into locks, to produce important effects on our body. The ECS is not only found in humans, but in every animal on the planet with a backbone. This tells us two things. The system is, one, evolutionarily very old, and two, it serves several purposes in the body. Within the brain, the ECS is responsible for things like development, responding to injury, adaptation or plasticity, and balancing its chemical environment. Molecules from the cannabis plant act on the ECS. This is how the ECS got its name. Because the ECS is so widespread throughout the body and compounds from cannabis can interact with it, cannabis tends to affect many different diseases and conditions. The active components of the cannabis plant come from the resin-containing glands of the cannabis flower called trichomes. We can isolate more than 450 different chemicals from cannabis, and they can be separated into two main groups: non-cannabinoids and cannabinoids. Non-cannabinoids are molecules that do not directly act on the endocannabinoid system and include terpenes and flavonoids. These molecules are responsible for the smell, the taste, and the color of the cannabis plant. They also have important medical properties, such as helping with pain, inflammation, and sleep. Cannabinoids are molecules from cannabis that interact with the endocannabinoid system and are referred to as phytocannabinoids. Some cannabinoids can be psychoactive, meaning they enter the brain and produce varying effects, but only some cause the well-documented euphoric high feeling. Delta-9 THC is a scientific name for what is commonly referred to simply as THC. This molecule is responsible for the typical euphoric feeling associated with cannabis and has important medical properties. Cannabidiol, or CBD, is very well known for its effects from reducing anxiety to treating seizures. It is one of more than 100 known cannabinoids in the cannabis plant. Any product labeled as CBD that is purchased in Canada is likely to contain all the components of cannabis, cannabinoids and non-cannabinoids.
So I'll stop it there. Basically, this was my favorite video because it really, gave you a very basic level, assuming you had no information. Another great thing we provided was a CBD compendium through one of our sponsors, Papa and Barkley. You should have all gotten a PDF version of this via email. So to recap, we would like to ask, you can use your chat box, tell us what is cannabis. Let's get interactive, use those chat boxes. Ola will be watching. And I'll play along with you. We'll watch for those. We'll try to get the most engaged person. But basically, I like to say that cannabis is literally a plant. It's the plant that grows in the ground. It has been used medicinally for thousands of years. And prior to Prohibition, it was, kings and queens and everyone used cannabis. I tried to time this blur out, and it's a little bit longer than I expected. But grows on the ground, has been used and has medicinal purposes for thousands of years. So that's why when I say, you know, cannabis is medicine, cannabis is a plant, you know, we try to, in society in America, we try to demonize it or criminalize it as if it's something else. So just remember it's a plant. What compound of cannabis gets you high?
THC.
That would be THC. Good job. Way to go, Kelly. Slow reveal for everyone else out there guessing. You know, and this leads me into like all the other cannabinoids that he mentioned: CBD, THCA, THCV, CBG. These are all different cannabinoids that have different effects, but they don't get you high. So, you know, when you're using cannabis functionally, it's not necessarily something that has to get you high or has to affect your mood or your stability or your focus. It can really just give you lower anxiety, lower stress. What are the 3 species of cannabis? Okay, 3 of them. They said it right in the first few minutes of the video. It means, what did he say it meant? Like the cultivation of cannabis. So one is sativa, indica, and that ruderalis is more like a hybrid. So kind of a mix of those two. So sativa, we know it's energizing. We like to do that in the morning. You know, that would be something to get your day started, to help with focus. Indica is going to be more relaxing, more of a body high, something. And all these things are subjective to what type of THC is contained, how your body responds to these things. So these are, as he said, the way these plants have been cloned and hybrids, and, you know, these are just some ways that we can go about identifying the effects on cannabis.
I always remember indica because of Indicouch.
That's funny. I hadn't heard that one. There's a song, I think it's called Sativa something by one of my favorite artists, Jhené Aiko. And I never knew. I mean, so honestly, I'm a new smoker. So 2-3 years, you know, started consuming cannabis, I'll say, but I didn't know what the difference was, sativa, you know, and all that. So fun fact, you know. So what conditions do cannabis relieve? This should be easy. You could throw out any answer. I'm sure it helps. Cannabis makes everything better, I like to say. So this can help. This can be anxiety, loss of appetite, nausea, sleeping. There's different strains that can kind of help you with these different ailments. So cannabis is used for joint pain, nausea, in cancer treatments, lack of appetite, all those things. In a lot of wellness products it's used in now. So you can use it for just about anything. This was one that you might not have caught. How does cannabis affect your brain? So it affects you emotionally. Your sensories are affected. Oh, I heard that we got some answers in the chat. Okay. Let's see if I can get those. So cannabis affects your emotions, your memories, your sensations, your movements, and this can be done through CBD or THC. Is CBD psychoactive or not? Does it get you high or not? Kelly? No. Great answer. It's strictly medicine. Strictly medicine.
But I think a lot of people that is probably a common question with people that are new to it. Are they like, am I going to get high if I take CBD?
Definitely. We've done a lot of like aging events, and our family does a lot of work like in nursing and healthcare. And that's the number one question. But honestly, you know, baby boomers are like my number one fan. You know, the joint pain, these oils. I brought some of my favorite, favorite products. So these Papa and Barkley actually makes this full spectrum oil, and it's very well requested. Those that, you know, so aging, even though there was some kind of some negative connotations with the baby boomers, I think that it's definitely coming around for sure.
Oh, Caroline had a good question about CBD. She said, does it show up in drug tests?
It doesn't. So I guess it depends on what type of testing. So cannabis can be flushed out of your system, like with, especially depending on if you are a regular user or not a regular user or not. So you can, you know, use your just flushing your system out with waters and cranberry juices, and, you know, flushing your system out that way, giving yourself a cleanse. But CBD is not gonna give you, it shouldn't show up as having THC because it doesn't have THC. So you shouldn't have that type of effect with a drug. So at Greenish Vibes, we definitely say that cannabis is self-care, cannabis is medicine. Our time in California has definitely taught us that. We've learned, being here has taught us how to incorporate it into our lifestyle, how to just make our lives better using it. So in one way or another, I kind of incorporate it into my daily life. So whether it's giving me the ability to think
it's
sharp.
5 o'clock.
Sorry. Look, time check. Giving me the ability to think sharp. I can use CBD. Pure Beauty is one of my favorites. It's a smokable CBD where it's gonna just keep me sharp. You know, it's not gonna give me a lag. It's just CBD. It's just to like create a calming effect and allow me to focus better. If it's to relieve pain, I'm using Papa and Barkley products. They have a balm that's good for your elbow, your joints, your if you have headaches, you know, rubbing there on your temple is really great. This oil, every day out of the shower, we're using that. And in anything that I do, if it's in my relationships, if it's at work, it's all about balance. That's like my favorite part. My favorite way to achieve wellness through cannabis is like to find balance. How can I be functional? How can I have better communication? How can I get through my workout? I know that my workouts are important and it makes me better, but sometimes I might be sore. So to recover and find balance, I use cannabis products in one way or another.
What was the CBD brand? Was it Pure Beauty you mentioned? Pure
Beauty, yes.
Pure Beauty.
And so as part of some of the laws, California growers in California cannot transport to grows in Illinois. So you know, there may be some differences in brands. There are some multi-state operators, like Cresco is one of them, that kind of have labs all over. But yeah, for the most part, what's in California may not necessarily be in Illinois. But these are some of our favorite products. You know, I didn't mention before, but we are super intentional about working with small Black women-owned brands. So most of our products are going to be, you know, a small owned company, no matter how they've grown, or they just align with our values and with our brand ideas. So Papa and Barkley is a favorite. They have multiple full spectrum CBD and THC products, from the drops that you can take daily in your tea, or just one drop under your tongue. The oil is really great. They have this relief cream that's good on the repair and relief cream, which is going to be good to like add hydration to your skin. These Kush Queen gummies, which I brought, these are Cbd Delta 8 gummies, and they are mild. They are CBD. They are legally sold in CBD shops, so they don't have not any THC. They're Delta 8, so they're not the same as Delta 9 THC. And so that is why the federal government has allowed it to be legal. So it does give you like a body relaxing high. and it's a great intro. I like that these are just 10 milligrams per, so you can take one, you can decide to take a half the next time, or you can kind of alternate your dosage based off how you feel. Another brand that we love is Elle's Elixirs. She's a really great brand in Memphis, and she is a Black woman-owned brand. She creates smokable herbs, so sip, smoke, and soak blends. So that's this picture here in your left-hand corner. Her herbs have like peppermint, hibiscus. One of them does have CBD and CBG, and you can sip, soak, or smoke. These are her rose cones. So if you are smoking CBD, you can pack it into a dried rose, which is really just a rose. No, it's organic, it's no chemicals, and then you're having a better experience and a healthier experience than if you were using tobacco.
And all the brands that you just mentioned are on your website?
Yes, they are. Sorry.
Okay.
So you can visit our website.
I'll put it in here.
And, you know, see all the products. Definitely.
Cool.
Okay, so 5 ways to incorporate wellness into your routine. Kush Queen has a great line of bath bombs. This is a California company. These are some of our favorites. It's like blurring, guys. But I have Relax, we have Love, we have Awaken. So really, when I say we have some for dogs, these have lavender, essential oils, CBD. So depending on your desired outcome, if you want to be relaxed or awakened or relaxing from pain, that's going to be a functional way that you can include in your wellness routine. Smokable CBD or THC. You know, using your intake functionally by choosing a sativa or an indica based off of your desired outcome. You have herbs to include CBD or tinctures in your daily tea. And then you have your oil on your joints for body or pain relief. One thing that, and we've worked with many trainers, and I always ask them, you know, how do you use cannabis in conjunction with your workouts? And this may be a new conversation in Chicago and in Illinois. We are starting to have these conversations, but here in California, it's not a weird question to ask. So, you know, want to put that out there. We do yoga. You can do indica CBD version, and that just can help you relax and kind of ease into your yoga routine and help you create your intentions, just helps you clear your mind. And so that's what I love about using cannabis in our wellness routine. Some of our partners, as I mentioned, Elle's Elixirs, Papa and Barley. We utilize cannabis chefs in Chicago, Colorado, everywhere that we're going to be. Vibes. Major shout out to Matt Tasty. They are also an aSweatLife partners. We are proud to carry their drinks. They offer CBD sparkling water, really great product, calming. So no THC high, but just calming, lower anxiety. You literally can drink it just like you drink your other sparkling waters. We utilize trainers and yoga instructors. Kush Queen, they are here in California. They do a lot of our bath bombs and our gummies. We work with cannabis influencers, media outlets, artists to draw or paint or do tattoos. You know, we are definitely open to all these collaborations. So that's why I wanted to put this out there. If you are in the cannabis space, if you're interested in working with us, definitely email us. We'll leave our email at the inside the chat room, hello@greenishvibes.com. I've been talking a bunch. I want to open it up to questions. Anyone out there have questions? Let me know.
That was a great intro to cannabis. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I went a little quickly.
And sorry, I know we went a little over on the crafting, but I think this is a great conversation. I'll kick off with a question. And I know you and I kind of talked about this the other day, but about like figuring out your your dosage in a way? Like, I think probably some people might be afraid of getting like too high because maybe it's happened before or something. So like, how do you figure that out? Like, is it trial and error? Like, start small and then like go up? What is your suggestion on that?
So all those, and I wish I had some smokables here, but I do have so these gummies, for instance. So everything, it's really important. And that's why I buy from dispensaries. I really like to know what I'm buying, what's in it. I don't like additives in my food, my chemical, no chemicals and nothing that I'm ingesting. So that's why it's important to know where you're buying from and buy from a trusted source and or dispensary. So on our labels, they're gonna have what you're consuming. So this has 5 milligrams of THC and 2 milligrams per serving of CBD. So I would say that 5 or 10 milligrams is going to be a good place to start. So one thing to remember about edibles is that it's going to take about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour to give you any type of effect. So you want to go slow, drink water, wait it out if you are consuming something edible. But yeah, you said it right. Start slow. If you have something that's smokable, smoke half of it. They literally look into microdosing. They have joints that are 2 milligrams, very small, and that will help with microdosing. And so that you can gauge what you're consuming. And that's the easiest way to do it. Look at the label, start slow, consider the THC content. So something that's 10% is going to be, good to start. And if you're starting new, use something that has more CBD than THC, or find one that's well balanced, 50-50.
Got it. Okay. Let's see in the chat. So Sam asked, is there any conclusive evidence on vaping that you know of?
So I'll say in vaping, that was definitely a concern. So the concern with vaping is, and it's more tobacco because there's chemicals, the way that they process tobacco, nicotine, there are chemicals in it. So that's, from my understanding, that's what the concern is, the chemicals that are in the vape products. So, here in California, there's clear transparency when you're buying vape pens, if it's 100% cannabis, or, literally look at those labels just like you do food and make sure that it has no chemicals. Most times they're saying that 100% cannabis, and no artificial like terpenes, because the terpenes affect the flavor. So just like in our food, companies want to influence the flavor, make it more palatable. And I don't want any of that. So look at the labels for sure.
That was a great question, Sam. I'm wondering too, so there's vape pens for THC and CBD, like separately. Do they have them together too?
I haven't seen any together. And in fact, even the flower that are 50-50, like that have CBD, are pretty hard to find. So from, if you have some THC, say, and then you want to get some CBD, you can go to our site and get Elle's Elixirs. I don't have any in stock. I'm waiting for a delivery, but you can sprinkle those CBD herbs over that THC. And to answer your question, they do have separate CBD cartridges, and we sell those on our website. We sell CBD cartridges. We sell the batteries for those that are universal as well. I have some winners for the engagement gifts.
Oh my God, let's do winners.
Yes. So we'll do a drum roll. Caroline and Samantha, if you can email us or put your address in the chat to us, we will get your gift out.
And I can connect you via email too.
That works too. Yeah.
Too. Caroline and Sam, I got you.
Well, thank you all for having us. We definitely want to say visit our website, greenishvibes.com. It should have been in the chat. We just left Chicago in April. We're working on our calendar for the remainder of the year, and just stay connected with us. We value these relationships and partnerships, and we are growing even more than we thought, you know, in February when we did our last media kit. We're growing, and that's exciting. So definitely watch and stay engaged with us on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Get Greenish Vibes. And thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, real quick, a question about Sam. We actually brought this up about the handbook. So that's just a really great resource, right? And I'll send it out again in the thank you email.
It is.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for spending the evening. It was fun crafting. It was fun talking about cannabis. I wish we could do this every night. Thanks to the Greenish Vibes team. It was so great hanging out. And I will follow up with all the links we talked about, and let's continue doing fun stuff together.